Well, we don't know for sure who the next president's going to be at this hour, but we do know that my next guest declared victory as the youngest person ever to be elected to the United States Congress and House of Representatives. He is just 25 years old. Take a look at his victory speech.
Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, we just made history! We have come together and we have said that it is enough with the divisive politics. It is enough with career politicians ruining our lives, wasting our tax dollars, and telling us what we can do with our faith, what we can do with our children, and what we will do with our money. But ladies and gentlemen, the people of Western North Carolina threw out smear campaigns, threw out millions of dollars spent against us. The people of Western North Carolina said that we are sending a weapon to Washington, D.C. to end this political divisiveness, to bring America back to what it once was.
And joining me now, and I'm so glad I get to say this because he was on the show last week, welcome back to Real America, now Congressman Madison Cawthorn. Hello, Congressman.
Well, I'm still getting used to hearing that. I'll tell you, it's I feel like the dog who's finally just caught up to the car. Now I'm here. The real work begins.
You know, I don't know. You were excited that night. I don't know who's more excited, man. I'm literally getting choked up and teary-eyed just seeing you and realizing I get to call you a congressman now. You fought such a hard battle. They came at you with all kinds of nonsense, as we spoke about last week. If folks watched the show, where they came to your home, they were trying to, ransack and do stuff there, smear campaigns, and good prevailed in your race. Thank goodness.
Indeed. Well, Dan, boy, I want to thank you for giving me a platform for being able to speak truth into this race, because I'll tell you this, the lies and the deceptions that go on in elections, now that I've realized after running one, is so terrible, and it's just un-American. And so I'm very glad that I got to come on your show to be able to talk to real Americans about the truth. And the people of Western North Carolina, I've got to say, you people are the best. You saw through all the lies. You saw through all the smears. And I cannot wait to be your representative.
Can't wait to watch you get sworn in. Let's talk about when you get to D.C. We didn't see a big blue wave like the media, like Nancy and Chuck and all those guys said we were going to see. As a matter of fact, we held on to the Senate and we gained a bunch of seats, like yours, across the country. It wasn't a blue wave. It was more, I would say, of a red wave. And we're obviously still waiting on the president's results. Let's talk about what you will do for the folks of North Carolina and the country once you're in there, some of the key things you want to fight for.
Well, Dan, I know you and I have talked about this before, but it's time for the new Republican Party to rise. And by that, I mean a Republican Party who's not afraid to shake the boat, who's not afraid to stand up and fight and to take on the hard issues, to stop being so timid, to stop playing establishment partisan politics. Let's start fighting for real Americans.
Yeah, I think there has been too much of that with the parties. I still think that our side is the right side, and I make no qualms about it, especially looking at what's happening in the country right now with these election results in the president's race and seeing chaos break out in cities from New York to D.C. to Portland. I don't see Democrats standing up and saying anything about it, just like they didn't say anything about the violence all summer until it was bad for the polls, and then Joey came out of the basement. So I get what you're saying, that we need to have more bipartisanship. It's the only way to get things done in D.C. But I also think, and I know that's where you stand, is we have to take those conservative values to Congress and keep that pushing forward and keep that in mind when you guys create legislation. Would you agree with that?
Oh, Dan, I agree completely. I don't think there can be much bipartisanship when you're dealing with communists and socialists. I'll tell you, we need to defeat the socialist ideology. And, you can sit down and have a conversation with these old JFK Democrats from long ago, but I'll tell you that that's not the Democrats we're dealing with now. And so I think that we just need to completely circumvent the Democratic Party, bring real solutions to the American people that they can get behind so that we can have a red wave coming up in 2022. But, talking about 2020, where we're at right now, I think that it's about time we call North Carolina for the president. I just got off the phone with Vice President Mike Pence. I talked to Tim Moore here in this state, the Speaker of our House, and I will tell you, it is time to call this race. We know that there's not enough votes for Joe Biden to catch up, and I tell you, it is time to call the race.
Yeah, that was my next question, man. You're a mind reader. North Carolina, your state. The president's had it since the beginning of Tuesday night. It kind of reminds me of Florida. I don't even know why. I get why the lamestream media that skews extreme left, like MSNBC and CNN, didn't want to call Florida, but Fox News wouldn't call Florida until 97% of the precincts reported. We were the only network to call Florida way earlier than everybody else. And again, they're still waiting to call North Carolina. They're still waiting to call Georgia. I get in Arizona, there needs to be some caution. There's still a couple 100,000 votes left. Nevada, there's a few 100,000 as well. But North Carolina should have been called yesterday, if not election night. So you're hearing from folks, is it getting close, or are we going to have to wait till next week, like they're telling us we're going to have to wait for next week for Pennsylvania and for possibly Georgia?
Well, I'll say the North Carolina Board of Elections did a great job out here in the mountains, but what's going on in the eastern side of the country, it really seems as if it's going slow on the vote counts. And, you know, Fox News is holding off on calling North Carolina, but they were more than happy to call Arizona prematurely for Joe Biden. And I believe that we can actually see that flipped coming up. So I'm glad that the Republican lawyers are on the ground, ready to fight the legal battle that needs to be fought. I'll tell you, there's no bipartisan Washington bureaucrat that's going to make this decision behind some closed door. This decision is up to the American people, and that up to them alone.
Yeah. Well, let's hope so, and let's hope it goes the way that we are thinking it should go, looking at the numbers that have been coming in. Madison, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I know that you are probably extremely busy now getting everything prepared to make that move up to D.C. in January and become North Carolina's new and the nation's youngest congressman, male or female, ever in the history of our nation. Thank you so much for your service. Thanks for you sticking to your guns, man, and your convictions. So proud of you.
It's an honor to get to serve as a congressman for this country, because I believe that this country needs to be defended by the men and women in uniform who will bravely defend us on the outside. But this country also needs to be defended from the inside. We will not crumble like the Roman Empire did.
You got it. Congressman Madison Cawthorn, let's hope we see that North Carolina go red here real soon. You take care of yourself, brother. Be safe. When we return, another explosive discovery proving more widespread voter fraud, this time from our friends at Project Veritas. You gotta see this video. Don't go away.